All right, honest question.
Yeah.
You're a Division I baseball player.
Yeah.
And a good one, I would say. I mean, we were just talking to your coach.
I mean, relative.
We were just talking to your coach on your field, and he said he was one of your best players. Is that fair?
He did not use those words.
That was the gist. That was the gist that I got.
That
okay,
really
can
wasn't
I ask
the
my
gist.
question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask my question? Do you think you're better than non-D1 players?
To a certain extent, yeah.
In what way? A better human?
I mean, my sabermetrics, right? So the sabermetrics are
No one knows what that means.
Yeah, no, I was trying to explain it. So sabermetrics are like how fast you can throw a ball from the outfield, how hard you can hit it, how fast you
I'm
run.
asking you versus the average person who walks down the street in Chicago.
Better.
You're better. Why is that?
Because they don't play baseball.
So you think
Are you a
baseball,
better soccer player than
I'm
the-
not asking who's the better baseball player. I'm saying who is the better human. Has becoming a D1 baseball player inflated your ego?
I would say no, because I don't believe
You just said you're better than the average person walking down the streets.
No, I'm aware of that, but no, that doesn't make me a better person. Also, I don't think I'm a great D1 baseball player. I'm a D1 baseball player, yeah.
You're a good one.
No.
Okay. There are thousands of kids in this world who dream of becoming a D1 baseball player. Like, that is their goal.
No, kudos to them. Trust me, I was one of those kids. I was in JUCO for 2 years.
Now that you're here, was it worth it?
100%.
Why? You're happy?
No, because it's that sense of achievement.
Sense of achievement. You feel that? Like, you feel it. Because I feel like, was it the journey that, like, okay, I want to become this something, so this fuels me. This gives me purpose. This gives me meaning. Now you're here, and you feel a sense of achievement. What did you achieve?
No, it wasn't when I got here. You're mistaken. No. So the only reason I'm a D1 baseball player is because I have a scholarship that says I'm a D1 baseball player. I have a scholarship to a college that plays in Division I level. Right.
Yes.
That's all it is. That's becoming a D1 player. There is,
and that's what everyone craves. Everyone craves becoming a D1 baseball player, which is, yes, a scholarship and to play for a D1 team, be on a D1 roster. You are there. This is what you've dreamed of your whole life. Is it worth it?
It is 100% worth it, but all right. What I was craving, I guess, in simple terms, was like kind of being appreciated. Like all of your work that you've done ever since you were in like 9U baseball kind of pays off.
So
9U,
you want
10U, 11U.
So it's acceptance from other people.
I would
that
say
feels good.
Yeah.
Which people in particular, like people who doubted you, or
people that
your father?
No. Scott never doubted me. No. But like people of like high merit, people that are important, you know, they stick their neck out for you and they're like, hey, this is gonna be my player. It's nice being like someone's player.
So like proving people who believed in you right.
Yes.
So like coaches.
Yes. You don't want to disappoint.
Okay. But at the end of the day, let's get real.
Yeah.
You've dedicated a grand proportion of your life to this game of baseball.
Not a grand proportion, like
at least
all of it.
All of your life to a game of baseball. What value are you bringing to society? At the end of the day, you are maximizing the amount of times you can hit a flying ball out of the air. What do you bring? I mean, kids in China, they grow up. They want to be doctors. They want to save people's lives. They want to go to the moon. They want to do something that actually brings something to this world. You dedicated your whole life to a game where you take a wooden stick and try to hit a rubber ball out of the air.
Two things. One, it's not a wooden stick. It's metal. Second off, you're talking about people in China. Second, third greatest country in the world. Why do you think we're first? Because I have the availability of doing what I love. Also, the purpose of this, which goes beyond the literal fact of me hitting a ball with a metal stick. Also, great life lessons that I've learned about being competitive, knowing how to lose, knowing how to win. Knowing that, hey, the best person isn't always the greatest person for the role.
So you think that compares meaning-wise and value-wise to something like a doctor or an astronaut? Because I'm saying your number one goal in this life has been to be the best player on this field. And it's like, even if you achieve that, what really are you doing for the world? I mean, in essence, you're an entertainer. That's how baseball makes money. I mean, you're not an entertainer, right? I mean, I've been to a couple of your games, and you guys don't get many fans. So, I mean, you're not doing that yet. But that's the goal, right? That's the whole game. That's the whole reason why athletes even exist. They're entertainers, right? They're not bringing any value to the world. So I'm like, you dedicated your whole life to this, but it's like, for what?
All right. Now we're just looking at athletes, doctors, lawyers, all at face value for what they are, right? Doctors save lives. Lawyers, in a weird sense, save lives. We're not saving any lives out here. Yeah, correct.
So what value are you bringing to the world? That's my question for you.
No, it's the values that are given to us.
So it's all about you. It's not about what you're doing for the world. It's what you take out of it.
100%. And then it's you help me, I help you. You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Can you give me an example of a baseball player, or just like a hypothetical example of a baseball player or an athlete who has taken the lessons from the sport and have used it to do great things?
Yeah.
Like what?
Roberto Clemente, right? He came from piss poor poverty, right? Plays baseball, makes a good amount of money. Uses the money, gives back to the community. Now we have a day celebrated for him. He is celebrated all over Major League Baseball, all over where he is from.
So your goal isn't necessarily, if I'm hearing you correctly, to become the best baseball player, but it's to use the game of baseball as a catalyst for money to then do good things into the world.
I'd say in a backward sense, yeah.
But how many percentage of people, what percent of baseball players, say in high school, will ever get to that Roberto Clemente point?
Probably very few.
And how many of them are getting distracted from doing things that could actually change the world? Like go into physics and like get us to Mars. People this is what's wrong with the American way of life.
Right.
Is that we're so caught up in getting like social media clicks and, being seen and getting followers and entertaining people that we get lost and we don't do the things that actually bring value to this world. Like, cancer hasn't been cured yet, but we have people batting .350 in the MLB. I mean, our goal is solely to like maximize this game. But like,
and I'm sorry that you look at the world at face value, right? Just because what we're doing out on the baseball diamond, that's what we provide to the world. What about what the diamond provides for us, right? So I learned a competitive nature, right? So I learned the competitive nature. Maybe baseball doesn't work out for me. All right, now I go into the workforce. Now I have a competitive nature. I want to get better at whatever I'm doing. Maybe I want to go into being a doctor. Maybe I want to be a pharmacist. Now I have the competitive nature. I want to have that competitive edge. All right, I want to study a little bit harder. Oh, wait, where did I learn that competitive edge? The baseball.
Okay.
And I couldn't go for anything. You want to be a doctor? All right.
But you can't be a doctor after baseball, Carson, because you're done with college.
Who said?
So the fact of the matter is,
no.
Our youth dedicates their whole sphere of desire to sports, at least in America. And when they do that, when you're young, that's the time when you learn the most about the world. That's the time when you get educated, right? Because you're building those building blocks. You don't have any blocks, so you have to build the blocks. And when we build the blocks of young people with a desire for nothing other than athletic success, sure, you get the Roberto, or what his name's Roberto
Clemente.
Sure, you get the few Roberto Clementes, but in the process, you lose these thousands upon thousands of people who could have been doctors or physicists or actually done something to change the world.
And you act like they don't do anything after baseball. Right? Like, you just assume that they play baseball. Oh, they don't play baseball?
No one's becoming like an astrophysicist or like curing cancer after, they become a professional athlete. And it's not their fault. It's because the vast majority of their learning years was focused on maximizing the degree to which they can play a game, but not in maximizing their degree of knowledge to do something like cure cancer.
I still think that competitive edge, though. I think that fuels everything. That is capitalism right there. Competitive edge. Having that competitive nature in you is what drives everything. That's what drives even curing cancer. The race to finally find a cure to whatever cancer there is, right?
So you have that competitive edge, but you lose, your young years.
The time, the experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think people, how valuable truly is a competitive edge? Because I think you can find that without sports.
No.
You can find a desire to want to cure cancer without sports.
It's born. It's born. If you don't have sports in your lives, you're just born with it. At the end of the day.
You're just born with competitive edge? What are you saying?
Competitive edge is like something that you have to practice. If you don't practice it, you don't focus on it, then you're just born with it. Born with whatever competitive edge you have.
I think if you just have a strong enough reason to become competitive, like you're walking down the streets of Chicago and someone comes up to you with a knife, you're going to become the most competitive person ever in that situation because you need to survive.
False.
You need to survive.
False. That's instinctual. That is way different. Competitive and instinctual are way different.
How?
Instinctual. Oh, I see what you're doing here.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
I know what you're doing. Instinctual, the way to survive, right? Instinctual, trying to survive, right? Natural ways of living, right?
Yeah.
If you want to fight, flight, right? Competitive.
What's the difference? I feel like this is what I think a lot of people do with their lives is they live this life and they try to rationalize to themselves their way of life. And they don't look at it in an accurate, non-biased way. So you've dedicated your whole life to the game of baseball, and now I'm bringing in a counterpoint, which may be valid, maybe not. I mean, the people will judge witness. And now you're trying to take my counter and rationalize your way of life, even given the counter, and say, no, we're actually learning something more valuable. We're learning this competitive edge. So,
may I ask what you do with your life?
That's a good question. And I think I'm figuring it out. And I am trying to do things.
Yeah. Granted.
Huh?
Granted.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, I guess maybe to some respects.
Are we all kind of in the same boat?
When you're young, you don't really know what you're doing. So maybe playing a game like baseball, something is better than nothing. And I'm not saying I'm doing nothing. Like, I'm trying to do things.
No.
And
I'm not saying that at all.
Maybe that's for a different podcast. But go ahead.
Go ahead with what?
I don't know.
Anything? About how you're a TikToker?
Okay.
You gave into societal norms of going to college. You hate college. You know that there's no beneficial use of using a degree in your field. Yet you still go.
You're right.
I know I'm right.
We all fall victim to the structures that surround us.
That's why I play baseball.
Why is that?
We all fall structures to the
we all fall
victim of the structure. We all fall victim of the structures around us. We do.
Yeah.
All right. My dad played baseball.
Yeah.
Right. Is it a coincidence that I fell in love with baseball just on my own? Probably not. I was probably guided.
So your dad, just for some background, he was a very good baseball player.
He was.
He got drafted.
I would not drafted. Not drafted.
No, that's what he used to tell everyone.
No, he got hurt before the draft.
Oh, he got letters. Yeah, he never told people that.
Yeah.
Just for a disclaimer, Carson's dad is one of the best people I know. One of the most full of integrity. I mean, just a great guy. So he didn't tell people he got drafted. Now that I think about it, he told people he got letters. So he could have gotten drafted, but he got injured.
Yes.
Do you feel in some ways that there is pressure on your shoulders to chase the dreams that he got cut short because of injury?
I'm sure at a young age, yeah. I'm sure that he wanted to see me and my brother. My brother played baseball too. He wanted to see like, hey, how far can they go?
And you felt that pressure.
I didn't feel it. I mean, at the time I was like 6 years old. It was like playing soccer.
So what drives you now? What drives you every day to go to practice and try your hardest? If it's not your dad, what drives you to keep going every day? Is it just societal expectations that you're here, so you kind of have to finish it out at least?
No.
What drives you?
So
do you love this game?
I do, and that's why I do it. Like growing up, I was a 3-sport athlete. 4 technically: baseball, soccer, basketball, and bowling. Yeah, I know. All right. And I only stuck with baseball. I love baseball. No real rhyme or reason. I just do.
Shocker, you picked the one that your dad played, but okay, keep on.
I would say that is the shocker. I do have his genes in me. I don't know if there's a baseball gene. I'm sure there's something where you have the same likeness as your parents.
And there's probably some nurture involved too, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But what drives me is, like I said, the competitive edge. It's an addicting feeling. I also have an addicting personality. I want to be the best in my craft. I am so passionate about this game because it's something that I love. I'm very passionate about it.
Do you think when you walk out on that field, do you think you're the best player on that field?
You fake it till you make it. If you talk to me right now, no, I'm not. I'm not and never am. And that also kind of keeps me...
But sometimes you might even be, right?
Yeah, I might be. But that also keeps me going because if I get that feeling of content, what's the point of playing? If you're the best.
So you go out there and you feel like the guys out there are better than you. And that you have to like prove yourself. And that's what motivates you.
I love that. I love being the small fish in a big pond.
You also had that JUCO background. You went to a junior college.
Yep.
Where it's not like you, and must we mention, you were on the freshman B team in high school.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of started off at the bottom, right? So,
oh, yeah.
So back then, you used to step on the field and think you were the worst player on the team.
Oh, yeah.
And you were probably right then.
Yeah. It was probably almost cut. Yeah.
But now you still have that mindset, even though now you're like the best.
I wouldn't say, like I said, I will never give my credit that I am the best.
If you were the best, would you say it?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so.
But if I was the worst, I probably wouldn't say I'm the worst either. I'd probably justify it. Because I'm just that middle guy. In the middle of the order, average outfielder.
What was the lowest moment of your life?
Losing a game never feels good. But that's never the lowest.
I ask you what your lowest moment of your life is, and you say losing a baseball game.
Yeah.
Didn't your mom have cancer?
Oh. That too.
No, but seriously, she had some a pretty intense diagnosis, right?
Yeah. Making me seem like a dick here. Yeah, no, that was definitely a low point. Like I said, that was the lowest point of my life, as I'm dealing with my mom that is literally dying of stage 3C pancreatic cancer and also being put on the freshman B team. So as I'm losing the game on the field, I'm losing part of my life. Yeah, that's losing all around.
What did that do to you? How did that shape you? Because for one, we were best friends at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't remember you really talking about it much. I knew that she had cancer, but I don't know. We never really went into details. Can you just like talk about that whole experience and how it shaped you?
Yeah, no. It was more her orders, and for good reason. She didn't want me or the rest of my family to be seen as the kids with the mom dying of cancer.
She didn't want that.
Yeah, that was her first thing.
Why do you think she didn't want that?
Because she didn't want us having like handouts. She didn't want the sympathy. I will always remember the day that she got diagnosed. When I remember I got picked up from school by Scott, came home, and Scott had already been crying, coming to the house, and there's a cable guy over, and he's trying to figure out the cable, and my mom's talking to him all normal. And I always remember that because that cable guy just thinks it was another normal job. But under this, like behind the scenes, he was talking to literally like a dead girl. Dude he thought it was a normal day, normal everything. She was acting all fine. And like, he was like, yeah, and your cable is all set up now. Like, everything it wasn't fine.
So, your mom didn't want to seem weak to anyone?
Yes. At the basis of it, yeah. She didn't want to be seen weak. She didn't want the sympathy of it.
Why not? I mean,
why would you?
Well, I think to some degree, when people feel sympathy for you, they help you, and you can.
But then you get unnecessary help.
Unnecessary maybe, but love is love, and you get cookies in the mail, and it may make you feel a little better, right?
I mean that's very materialistic, yeah. Like, yeah, cookies are gonna do a whole lot. Oh, this $1,000 for spending on dinners is going to do a lot. It's not going to bring back my mom. Also, Caryn is not dead. I want to make that very clear. My mom is very much alive. She
survived.
She did survive. She did very.
What kind of cancer did she have?
She had 3C pancreatic cancer, and she did the most aggressive chemo as you can do. It was hard for her. It really was. I
bless her soul. Bless her soul.
I remember the days that she would come home from chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and it was tough. And
do you know, like, the odds of her survival? Was it pretty low, or?
Seeing past 1 year was 5%. Seeing past 1 year was 5%. Seeing past 5 years was 1%.
And she's in that 1% now, right?
She is past the 1%. She is, I think, 8 years.
Wow.
8 years cleared.
Wow.
Cancer free.
That's amazing. She is a trooper.
Yeah.
Great person, too.
I know she's watching this. And Caryn, you're a great person.
What's the but? What's the but, though?
Oh, you were a hard parent, man. You were.
Yeah, in what ways? Too many lunches made for you, and
no, she used to sit on me as a child. She did. I misbehaved. She'd sit on me.
She would sit on you.
That was her punishment. Your parents ever do anything like that?
I've never been sat on. No.
You ever get like?
I want to get back to something though.
Oh. I was wondering if your parents hit you.
No, they didn't. They didn't. So you said that your mother, when she was diagnosed with this very intense and low survival rate cancer, that she didn't want to get empathy from the world. She was scared to, I'm not scared, but it's just in the Roberts nature maybe to not show your struggles and act like you're okay even when you're not okay. Is that a fair assessment to some degree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to a certain degree. I think that's fair for everyone. You don't want to seem weak. That's how the gazelle gets killed, right? The injured gazelle that's limping on a leg gets eaten by a lion.
True, but we're not gazelles anymore. We're humans.
No, we're not. But
okay, so tell me, Carson, what is the weakest part about you? What's your weakness? What's your biggest weakness from your perspective?
Physical or...
You can take it whatever route you want to. I'm not gonna.
I mean, my hairline's not very good.
Your hairline, okay.
My hairline's not good. Probably a little bit too empathetic.
Too empathetic.
Empathetic.
In what way?
Too forgiving.
Do you have an example of that?
If you wrong me, I'll probably apologize.
But have you ever been put in a position where that's really been put to the test?
All the time.
Like when? You've never been cheated on. I mean,
No.
Eileen's never cheated on you, right? So.
No, I'm going back to the baseball term. Like I said, my JUCO coach wanted to redshirt me, and I apologized for being so bad. Right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, my talent's not good enough. You brought me in. My bad.
All right, you're not sounding so apathetic now. I mean.
No, I'm not, because I've realized I've been working on it. And that's probably the difference from my freshman year self to my senior year self. Like, you learn, like, when someone wrongs you, it's personal. It is.
But I mean, empathy is also a good thing, right? Because
to a certain extent,
people are finite and people are flawed and people make mistakes.
Do you think mistakes are accidental? I don't.
I mean, we're kind of getting into a free will question now.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't control their thoughts. Their thoughts just happen and they act on their thoughts. And even...
And thoughts are provoked by
prior causes. I mean, if you go deep into like what a thought is and just a random thought that pops up, it's triggered by some past experience, right? I mean, that's what a thought is. Therefore, we really don't have much control on our thoughts, and all our action is based on our thoughts. So do people really have free will?
I'm sure the question, the answer you just gave is not what people were looking for. They thought you were going to give in to like God. Like a God, like, oh yeah, God. There's divine intervention.
Do you think
No.
praying before an at-bat
No.
helps?
No.
No? Why not?
Because I have that type of free will. I do.
So you are so certain.
I don't believe in divine intervention.
Do you believe in a God?
I do.
And would you agree that that God is something that is beyond your depths of understanding?
100%. Beyond my comprehension. Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, maybe the way in which he intervenes is also beyond your comprehension.
Agreed. Agreed, but then he would... No.
What do you mean no? You can't just say agreed and then no.
No. No.
Carson, you can't just say agreed and then no.
Here, bring out your fact sheet. Look at all the questions you're going to ask me.
Let's get back to baseball.
You're scummy.
Let's get back to baseball. Donald Trump. Back in 2016, when he was running for president for the first time.
I remember the day.
During the campaign,
Yeah.
there was a video that got released of him within a he was in an RV, and he said some very disturbing things. He said, when you're famous and there's a girl, you can just grab them by the private parts, to say it nicely. Do you remember that video that got released?
I'm very aware of the video and the comment. Yeah.
Okay. And then his response to that was that it was locker room talk. You're a guy who spends a lot of time in a locker room. Was that locker room talk? And if so, what's some of the worst locker room talk?
All right. I'm going to break down the basics of locker room talk. That's not locker room talk. That's...
If it was, would you say it was, though? You probably wouldn't.
I would, because
I mean, your coach is going to watch this probably, so I mean,
I'm aware of. I will explain what locker room talk is. It's anything not PC.
What's PC for us PCs?
Politically correct, right? So
that's what Trump was saying. Is he said something not politically correct? So it's locker room talk. Was he right? Was that locker room talk?
No, because I've been in 4 different locker rooms. There talks about raping a girl has never came up. It actually has never. So
what's some of the worst locker room talk you can share?
Well, we talk about like sisters.
Moms. What does that mean? Like
they're good looking. They're good looking.
Okay.
They're good looking. Ask them out on a date.
So you want to get with some of your teammates' moms? Is that what you're saying, or is that what the conversations are? At least.
No. I'm honestly thinking about the moms I would get with.
Are there a couple on your team right now?
I'm thinking. Not on this one. No, this locker room's. That locker room's all good. Maybe some sisters.
Some sisters.
Yeah. Can't. But
specify. No moms.
Can't specify. No moms. Sisters. Yeah.
Okay, so you would say that Donald Trump's locker room excuse was not a worthy excuse?
No. Far from it.
Would your answer be different if we were not filming and had microphones in front of our face right now and sitting in front of your home baseball field?
No.
No?
No.
Would your answer to that question be different?
Go on down the line. No.
All right, we won't.
Hey, no.
We want you to have a spot on the team tomorrow. Okay, let's move on.
Oh, this is an interview. I want to know, you were in a locker room. You played football. Some of your locker room talk.
I mean, what Trump said was egregious. Compared to locker room talk, I would think it would be rather mild. I'm not saying I would say it, but hearing some of the conversations, I mean, things get pretty gruesome. Things get pretty screwed up.
I mean, to a certain extent. Yeah.
I've also played football. You play baseball with a bunch of... I mean, you guys don't really touch each other. You guys just hit a ball out of the air.
I mean, touch each other.
I mean, like when you're playing like a physical combat sport, I think it's a little different than a game like baseball.
What if
All right, question for you. If every time you swung a bat, from now going forward, a pregnant woman felt intense chest pain, would you quit baseball right now?
Why is this even a question?
I'm seeing your love for the game. I mean, it's just kind of a philosophical question.
It's really not.
To achieve what you really want to achieve, are you willing to cause someone else discomfort?
If every time you walked, a baby died, would you walk?
Or don't flip this around on me.
No, but do you see how ridiculous of a question
that is? Answer it. Try to answer it.
I mean, yeah, I would have to. Would you not if you...
So you're willing. I'm not saying you kill the pregnant woman.
You're making a lot.
There's just a lady in Vermont who's walking the streets, and the 100 times you swing a bat a day, it's and that's because of you.
No, all right, but answer my question.
So you're willing to cause that pregnant woman discomfort so you can continue playing your little bat game where you swing this stick around trying to hit a ball out there.
Why do you try to see it? Why do you paint it at face value? Why do we keep doing this? Answer my question.
I don't think I'm doing it at face value. I think I'm describing the game of baseball. So you would cause that pregnant woman immense discomfort just so you can continue playing your little game.
Yes.
What's your end goal with all this?
I think you already know my end goal. Make enough money to provide to the community.
What would you donate to?
Probably cancer research.
Why?
It affects me personally.
Do you think that you'll get to that point?
I don't know. Who does?
Are you hoping to get drafted this year?
That's always a hope. Hope is the average baseball player that doesn't think he's very good.
You don't think you're very good?
Like I said, I will never admit that I'm good. I'm just kind of here. I want to do the best every day. I want to provide 100% effort every day. That's all I can do.
What's your advice to young people who may be on the freshman B team right now, like you were? What's your advice to them to how to get to where you're at now?
First off, they don't know anything. Not they. I'm talking about they. The people evaluating you. They don't know anything. They're high school teachers first, baseball coaches second. They're obviously there for a reason because they have an interest in baseball, but I mean, don't let that determine your future. Keep going.
So a lot of kids will hear that and they'll take your advice, and probably 99% of them will fail. Do you think maybe some good advice sometimes is to just be like,
give up?
Throw your cleats up and maybe go pursue something that can actually bring value to the world?
What's the difference between me and any other freshman B team player?
I don't know, but you are one out of like probably 10,000, right? I mean, out of the freshman B players, how many make it to being a starter on a D1 team? I would say 1 in 10,000. So like giving them that hope, it's almost like you're hurting them.
I'm not. Because you just made up a statistic. What do
you think
10,
the number
000.
is?
I don't know.
1 out of 5,000? 1,000? 1 out of 2?
I don't know.
The odds are not in your favor. And that doesn't mean give up, but it means maybe do something where your odds are somewhat into your favor. Because what odds mean is that they usually happen. The odds usually happen.
There's a better chance of a guy on the freshman B team going on a Division I team than becoming a doctor. I can statistically prove that.
Okay, I mean, you're going after my statistics. Now you just pull one completely out of your ass. So
no, I know the statistics of 1 out of roughly of every high school player, whether you start on the freshman B team or not, have a 4% chance of becoming a Division I player. If they do all the sports. What's the chance of becoming a doctor? Like 1 in 1,000?
I feel like you're pulling stats out of your ass to try to make your case sound better. And I feel like the fact of the matter is that a lot of these kids who think that they're going to be professional baseball players, if they just keep going, would serve the world. And our world would be a better place if they put their use of talent to something else. Not everyone's going to be a professional baseball player. Not everyone's going to be a D1 baseball player. Not everyone's going to
be a doctor.
Yeah, but they could be something else.
Yeah, we're talking both ends of the spectrum here.
You got any questions for me?
Not on the top of my head.
Oh.